Shalom. Shalom, shalom. Bawakar Tawab, which means good morning in the Hebrew. I like to start off by giving all praises, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadosh. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders and CT bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim preaching his word with truth and sincerity around the four corners. Peace and salutations to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen that look like some of those heathen. Like Elder Malcolm says, this is not a black only thing. This is an Israelite thing. So Israelites are going to come looking like all the nations that they were scattered to. So you're going to have Israelites that look like Moabites, Israelites that look like Ishmaelites, Israelites that look like Hamites, even Israelites that look like Edomites, contrary to popular belief. So shalom to the speckled bird. And peace and salutations to the Akim and the few Akwath that listen and learn in silence, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. And I just wanted to speak about what's trending, and that's World War III. I don't have no articles. Just was watching a couple of videos this morning. Watching a beloved brother out of Memphis, Nabah. GMS Memphis, Nabah. I was watching his video. And I was watching the beloved brother in the Raleigh, North Carolina camp, Kabad. His YouTube channel is GMS Keep Pushing. So subscribe to those brothers if you haven't already and be edified. And it's beautiful. We're witnessing the death of a dynasty, Because if you watch mainstream media news, they're not covering. Mainstream media news is not covering the ass kicking that America is catching from Iran. Iran. Is using, from what I understand, Iran is using very low budget, cheap, not inexpensive drones, and America is using top of the line missiles that cost about, from what I understand, like $4 million a piece. So America's going broke just to defend itself, even though they fired the first shot. And people, I forgot who it was, but some people, starting with the apostles and elders, they prophesied that America would go to war with Iran, and it came to pass. And they also prophesied that America would lose this war, and that's coming to pass. So the only thing left, like they prophesied, was the mandatory implementation of the MOTB and the dollar collapsing, So this is beautiful. We got a couple of precepts that I'm going to get. I'm going to try to flow for like 10 minutes. Lord's willing, this would be edifying. This would be, if you know that you're a Hebrew Israelite and you follow the teachings of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, then you are in a true privileged position. You're in a privileged position. And don't take it for granted, because it could be taken from you. And just pray that it is that the Lord keep you in His presence. Psalms 51st chapter. Let me get a couple of precepts. I think I'll title this World War 3 Is Inevitable Part 2. Just to land back off of my last video that I did that I titled that. Because it is. World War 3 is inevitable. The other nations have already talked about joining in on, I believe Russia and China have talked about joining in on Iran's behalf. America's allied nations are, how do you put it? America's allied nations are talking about isolating itself. So this is beautiful. Meanwhile, you got 2/3 still doing what 2/3 do, and heathens doing what heathens do. But they're gonna be taken out of the way real soon. And Esau doing what he does, lie, cheat, steal, promote propaganda. Alright, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, starting at the top. And excuse me for Salakia for the noise. It's a warm day today in my neck of the woods. So the hoodlums gonna come out and do what they do. But it's all good. Because America's almost destroyed anyway. Alright, you see the heading, it says a time for everything. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And we're clearly in the time of dying. That's why you see the soldiers are going over the war. There's going to be a draft real soon. So all of them YNs, all of those YNs and YBs that that how do you put it? All of those YNs and YBs that be talking shit on social media and causing havoc, and they're about to get shipped right into the belly of the beast, never to be seen from again, except in a box. Because whoever goes out there to the so-called Middle East, they're not coming back. and like it says, right now is the time to pluck up that which is planted, and that which is planted was and is Babylon the Great, aka America. So America, what you're witnessing is America being uprooted from its foundation as we speak. And it's a beautiful thing, to witness the downfall of your enemy. Like it tells you in the Apocrypha, Lord will, I'll get that. Verse 3, it says, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Skipping, for the sake of time, we skip down to verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. We're clearly in the time of hating. These other nations can't wait to get at America. These heathen nations can't wait to get at America. A time of war and a time of peace. And all you gotta do is pay attention to the news, and you can clearly see that we're in a time of war. We're not in a time of peace. Peace comes after war. You know? Let me get this. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. And 45, and it reads, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord," and the Lord is in all caps to let you know it's talking about the God of Israel, and his heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh. Therefore hear ye, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. When it says this, it's talking about Amalek. You know, Amalek is the least of the flock because he's the smallest among the nations. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And that's exactly what you're seeing happening. Iran is giving it to Israel and America. And America can't deal. Like Apostle Gabar says, America is Israel's bitch. Israel is the pimp, and America is the whore. Whatever Israel says to do, America does. That's why America striked in the first place. Because Israel was complaining about Iran, and I suggest you watch Amwan Gabar's shorts. He has one called 30 Years of Gaslighting, where it shows Bibi Netanyahu talking about Iran having nuclear weapons, or possessing capability of getting a nuclear weapon for 30 years. Since the mid-90s he's been talking about it. You know? So we are this guy is something else. Let me get one more before I close. I don't want to make this too long. Yeah. There's Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7, and it reads, "There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." Yeah, this is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the fall of our enemy. You know? Esau Edom is our chief enemy. You want to see who your enemy is? All you gotta do is read Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Our top 3 enemies. The first one is Esau. The second one is Ishmael, them so-called Arabs. And the third one is Moab, them stinky Chinese, so-called Chinese. You know, so to see the downfall of your enemy is a beautiful thing. And the Lord is dealing with us. So children of Israel are going to see the downfall of the enemy. And we're witnessing it as we speak. So like it tells you in Romans, the 13th chapter, it is high time to awake out of sleep, because now is our salvation nearer than when we believed, you know? But, just a couple scriptures I wanted to bring out. Lord's willing, is edifying. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.